that's sort of AI-ish, right? But I think it's just really important to understand your guides, your checklists, even to some degree, the videos where you're just giving people generic advice on, hey, the 3 things you should do to winterproof your house before the winter starts, right? They're not worthless yet. I don't know that they'll ever be completely worthless, but they don't distinguish you like they used to. Now, if I came to you 10 years ago and I said, hey, do you have a PDF guide on how to sell your house? Most agents didn't. Okay, this was not common stuff. So the agents that did, they stood out. They had the information, right? You could get their 5 or 10 or 20-page guide that would give you all those steps that you should theoretically take in order to get your house ready to sell. But now I can go to ChatGPT, right? And I can say, hey, I want to sell my house. What are some things I should do? By the way, here's where I live. Here's some information about how old the house is, right? Or here's some information about this and that. And I'm going to start to get customized information. Now, is that going to be as good as your information? Not necessarily, because ChatGPT is going to give them still something that's relatively generic, but they're starting to get personalized advice, all right? And this is a shift that's happening. This is a big reason that we're seeing people switch from Google searches to asking ChatGPT, right? It's also why Google is putting those AI summaries at the tops of the chats. Because if I can personalize the information more to the actual person doing the search, it's more valuable to them, right? So I don't think generic advice is nearly as valuable as it used to. Now, I'm not trying to tell you that these are no longer, like these are totally worthless. That's not the point, right? It's not like, okay, you don't even make another seller guide, right? Make them, share them, make them as customized for your area as possible. AI does make that easier, but we're seeing more of this, right? Because it's an obvious opportunity. Most agents are going to pursue the obvious stuff, right? So now we're going to see even more agents with seller guides, even more agents with buyer guides. It's not going to be the noise anymore. So the market reports, the buyer guides, like people want homework. If I give you something that's, hey, 50 ideas for videos that you should make as a small business owner, you have to look through them and decide, does this apply to me? Is this the kind of video that's going to work for my ideal customer? Does this work in my market? Is this relevant from the area of the country that I'm based in, right? I mean, I'll tell you right now, I live in St. Louis, and I've seen some advice on how to market to places like California and New York. They're not the same. It's just not the same, right? Some of it would work, right? But there are distinct differences. And if we make people have to do that work, we're not helping them in a way that we can, right? So the solution is to give them free samples. It's basically what we're doing, right? So that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to give them free samples of services, right? This is where AI, I think, unlocks something really, really cool, is products. We could give samples of products, right? When you go to Costco, you get your little samples, right? We've all done that before. But services are almost impossible to give a sample of, right? I mean, how am I supposed to give somebody a sample of helping them sell their house, right? Like, what's a little piece of that? Well, I'll show you, right? There actually are things that you can do. So I want you to think about this as, how can I give someone 1% of my service using AI? Right? So how can I give them, the equivalent to having a 10 or 20-minute conversation with me, where I listen to them and I gather some data and some information about their situation and what they're going through in life and all that kind of stuff, and then I give them personalized advice, right? How can I give them 1% for free? Because if you are the local business where I can get 1% of your service for free, or 2% or 3%, right? I'm going to gravitate to you. That is how free works, right? I love this concept of free in marketing. I've been obsessed with it for many, many years, because we do irrational things when something is free. So how can I give that 1% away? And if I can figure that out, now I'm able to say something to my marketplace that no one else can, right? I call these adaptive lead magnets. You might want to give them a different name. You see a lot of people right now, I think they're calling them micro apps. Is kind of another way to think about it. But I like adaptive lead magnets because, look, they're lead magnets, right? Like this might be, for example, I think the one you're looking at here is my neighborhood matchmaker, all right? So this is going to give people information about the neighborhoods that they should be looking at based on what their needs are, right? What are the amenities that I need in that area? What's the price point that I'm willing to spend on the houses that the house I'm going to be purchasing, right? How far am I willing to be away from the amenities, right? So yeah, I want to be in an area with libraries, but I do have a car I can drive. They don't have to be right next to me, right? That's all very personalized types of information. So that's what an adaptive lead magnet does. It gives people a customized output, personalized advice that is based on them, right? It's unique. It's not going to be given to anybody else. They might get some overlap. They might get a couple of the same neighborhoods recommended, but they're getting completely customized information from you, okay? That's what we're trying to do here. So let me go through some examples. That was one. I'll talk more about that one, and I'll sort of show these in a second here. This is another. This one's called the Home Value Maximizer, okay? So what we're doing here is, again, if we're thinking of just generic information as spam, think about it, right? How many times have you seen an agent post that thing about, hey, did you know that one of the highest ROI things you can do in your house is, you know, I don't know, paint the inside, right? Like that's a pretty high one, right? Or replace the carpet if it's a certain age or whatever it is, okay? Great, that's useful advice for some people, but I might have clarifying questions, right? So how old does it need to be too old? Or, you know, what about this particular carpet? Because it was pretty expensive when I put it in. Or, hey, I like this paint color, but is it going to help my house sell, right? Those are more personalized. So I'm going to give them the Home Value Maximizer. The way this tool works is someone walks around their house, they snap a few pictures, and they upload them into the tool. Then they can add details like how long until I'm planning to move, how much of a budget do I have to spend on this project, right? Then the tool's going to take that information, utilizing AI, it's going to analyze the actual pictures, and it's going to customize the advice based on all of that, right? So it's not just, hey, by the way, in general, you're going to want to do this. It's no, hey, I can see that in your kitchen, it looks like everything was recently remodeled. That kitchen looks good to go. But it looks like in your bedroom, the carpet has a bunch of stains on it. And that's the kind of thing a buyer is going to notice when they come to your house. So I recommend that you replace that carpet. Now, you said your budget was only $5,000, so you don't necessarily want to have the budget to do the entire house. So just do this room. Here's the colors you should consider. Here's what ROI you should expect to get when you do that project. Oh, by the way, here's a button where you can download a PDF copy of this report so you can save it and use it as you're planning to get your house ready to sell. So think about which agent is that person going to hire 6 months from now when they are ready to sell their house, right? I mean, think about the follow-up you can do with that person now. Hey, I know I sent you that tool last week to figure out what to update in your house. What did it recommend? Would you like me to stop by and confirm some of that information with you and give you some contractors in the area that I think are really reliable, right? I mean, there are so many different things you can do now because you gave them something that's actually unique and different. So they're looking at your competitors, a lot of whom are not saying anything, right? Some of whom are just, you know, sharing generic advice. Some of whom are saying things like, hey, I just sold another house, you know, call me if you want to sell yours. And then they're seeing you saying, hey, wouldn't it be nice if you knew exactly what you should and shouldn't fix in your house before you sell it? Well, I have a special tool just for that. You will stand out. You're providing more value. You now have your contact information in a PDF that they have downloaded to their computer. More importantly, you now have their phone number and their email address, right? Because the way you should use these tools, and you can do whatever you want with them, but the way you should use them is make people give you their information before you give them access. That's how you generate the leads, right? So your post on social media says, hey, if you're thinking about moving, you're going to want to know you can maximize the value of that house, right? Well, let me know if you want to use my Home Value Maximizer tool. Then you're going to say, okay, here's the link to sign up. They go to the page, they fill out the form, now they've got your tool. You can follow up for as long as you want, right? So that's how you use it to generate a lead. But what about leads you already have? Well, I'll tell you what, if I had signed up on Zillow 3 months ago, but I wasn't ready to move, and you've called me 5 times asking me if I'm ready to talk about selling my house, I'm probably ignoring your phone calls at this point. But if you send me a text that says, hey, by the way, I have a brand new tool that will help you match, yourself to your ideal neighborhood, let me know if that would be useful to you. I'm going, oh, yeah, that actually would be, right? Think about all the different ways. I mean, I love this stuff, right? Because it opens up opportunities to talk to people in a way that doesn't have to feel uncomfortable. It doesn't have to feel like you're being bothersome. You can say something unique. Now, in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whenever this stuff fully catches on, if there are 100 or 200 or 500 agents in your area who all have these kinds of tools, right? Just like, at one point, none of us use social media. Now almost all of us do, right? Things become more common. Then maybe it won't be as exciting anymore. But that is down the road, right? We are at the cutting edge of this right now. You get to be the first if you want to be, all right? So that's the home value maximizer. Now, in terms of how this stuff works, I think I already kind of explained this. But the beauty of it is that we are doing AI analysis. We're also forcing the user to input certain information. So yes, this is sort of like going to ChatGPT, but ChatGPT doesn't understand the process. It's a very open-ended experience. So what we're able to do is make them input just the data and information, like the photos of their house that we actually need, combine it with a set of rules that I've pre-built into the tools, get it analyzed by AI, and then provide those results directly to the user, right? So in terms of the tech, you don't have to understand any of that, okay? But that is how it works. Now, I already talked about this one. This is the other side. So if you're in real estate and you're like, look, I like sellers, but I'll tell you what, right now, buyers are actually the ones that are harder to come by, right? There's a huge surplus of sellers versus buyers. I think we may actually be at record highs in that number. So this one is more for buyers. This is a neighborhood matchmaker. Very simple tool, right? You come in, you explain where you're planning on moving to, what city, right? You put in information about the amenities you want, you put in information about what you're willing to spend, how far you want to drive, etc., and it makes customized recommendations, right? Now, guess what you can do? You follow up with that person. So, right, somebody said on Facebook, maybe you're in a Facebook group and somebody was commenting about how they're moving across town. They're not sure which neighborhoods they should be looking at. So people are making recommendations. Oh, you should check out my neighborhood. Oh, you should check out mine, right? You come in and say, hey, I actually have a tool that will help you with this. You tell it, what you're looking for, and it will custom recommend neighborhoods based on that, right? So they say yes. Then guess what? A bunch of other people see that comment too, and they go, oh, that sounds really useful. I'm thinking about moving too. Can I get access to it as well, right? So now you're getting additional leads. That's my favorite, when I get a bunch of additional comments on my comment, not even my post in that case, right? And now I have all these leads and I'm following up with them. So I send them a text, hey, did you use the tool yet? What neighborhoods did it recommend? I'd love to send you some homes for sale, right? I'd love to show you some listings that are available in those neighborhoods, right? Maybe we can go take a look at one of those neighborhoods. You want to go do a little driving tour? I mean, there's so many opportunities it opens up because you've done something unique for them, and you can follow up then in unique ways, okay? So you earn trust because you provided a service before asking for a listing. This is a big differentiator, okay? You have done more to help this person before you've ever asked them to sign anything than your competitors have. And you can do that today manually, right? You could call a bunch of people and say, hey, would you like me to come look at your house and tell you what you should or shouldn't update? But I'll tell you two things there. Number one, that's a ton of your time. This is obviously going to require basically none of your time. But number one, it's a ton of your time to do that. And number two, most people will say no because they expect you to sell them something, right? We don't like scheduling sales appointments with people unless we feel like we do have a good chance of needing that product or service. So a lot of people will say no, even though they do want some advice on what they should start to think about fixing in their house, because they think you're just going to show up and do a listing presentation, right? You're going to pitch them on your service. And to be fair, you might, right? That's kind of the whole point. Instead, we give them an intermediate step, right? Use the tool, private, you're not interacting with me at all, you're just using my super cool AI tool on my website, and then once you get that information, you're a little bit further down the path of actually selling that house, then let's talk, right? And you just rinse and repeat. That's what we're doing here, okay? So information is spam, but we're not just providing information anymore, right? We are actually providing value. Now, the second one here, I want you to understand this because this is extremely powerful, and I find a lot of small businesses do not get this concept, okay? 3% of the market is ready to buy today. Almost all small businesses focus on that 3%, right? This is why Zillow is so successful, because Zillow has the 3%. Where do people go when they're really getting excited about actually buying a house? They go to Zillow, right? A lot of those same people are going to sell the house they're currently in. So Zillow gets both, right? They get the people that are thinking about buying and the people that are thinking about selling in a lot of cases. That's why Zillow is a multi-billion-dollar business. But what that overlooks is the 97% of people who aren't thinking about moving right now. But almost everybody moves, right? Almost everybody at some point will buy or sell a house over the course of their lifetime, in at least in the United States. So what are we doing to get in front of those people? Now you might say, look, I mean, if I'm offering a home value maximizer, that's the 3%, and you're right. So we've already covered that, right? We already have the tools that we're giving to the people who are thinking about moving in the next few months. Can we get in front of the rest? Because if we can, think about it this way. If somebody's going to move in a year, and let's say 2, I don't know, whatever, somewhere in that range, right? And I can get them into my CRM today. I can get them to follow me on social media today. I can get their phone number so I can send them some more text messages today. Then I can nurture that relationship. I can offer them more and more free value. I can continue to follow up to the point where when they are ready to move, they've already chosen me as their go-to agent, right? That's what we're going for here. So how do we do that? How if we know that 90% are moving at some point, we need to get them to like you today. Because if you do that, they may still go to Zillow, right? They may still end up clicking around on some other agents' websites, but they've already hired you. You're already the community leader they look up to. You're already the person that's already helped them substantially. And so, yeah, it's coming time to sell that house. Whose home value maximizer are they asking for at that point? So what can you do before that? That's the question here, right? If we want people who aren't moving right now, but will be in 6 months or 12 months or 2 years, to already know about us, already like us and trust us and want to work with us, we have to give them something today that's not real estate specific. This is what a lot of businesses overlook. You can get somebody into your CRM, into your database, into your list at any point in time. So why are you waiting until you have to compete with everybody else in your industry? Everybody wants the 3%. But if you've already convinced those people that they're going to work with you, by the time they get to that category, they don't even go look at your competition, right? They've already decided to hire you. So here's one example. This is one of my favorite tools I built. This one's called the Date Night Planner. And this one has nothing to do with real estate, right? This is what I'm going to give somebody to get them into my email list. Now, you don't necessarily need to use this tool. You might look at this and go, well, I don't want to work with couples. I really like working with single people who are never going to get married. They don't like dating. Fine, okay? Like, then you wouldn't use this tool, right? It is important that you're thinking about who that ideal customer is, right? It does have to fit that. And that's why on this platform, as I build this out over the coming months and years, there's going to be a range of different kinds of tools that work for all kinds of different businesses, but also all kinds of different ideal customers, right? So this one's pretty simple. They just explain what they're doing, what date night they're going on, when is it, who is it with, what are some of their interests, right? I like live music, but for example, I don't personally drink. So I don't want recommendations on like the best bars to go to with live music, right? Or if it is going to be a bar, obviously it's got to have some food. So I've got something to do there as opposed to just drinking, because I won't do that part, right? That's what this is going to do. So this is going to help them plan their, and I'll show this one to you in a few minutes because this is pretty fun, all right? Other side of the coin, so to speak, we have a kids activity planner. Similar concept, right? In fact, these tools actually work pretty closely. But sort of a different target. Parents obviously could go on date nights too. So obviously if you're looking to attract parents, both of these could work, right? But this one is going to keep their kids busy. So this is one where I'm going, man, for example, like we got that snowstorm. It's about to wipe out half the country here in the next couple days. Some people are going to be stuck in their houses, right? And they are going to be going crazy because their kids are bouncing off the walls. Well, this is the kind of tool that would be very helpful to them, right? They can go in and say, hey, look, here's where we're at. Here's how old my kids are. How can I keep them busy? And it will make a customized plan for them, all right? They might come back and use this thing every few days, every few weeks, right? I mean, if they do, imagine what that means. That means these people are coming back to your website, interacting with your brand over and over and over again. Now, one thing I don't really talk about much is, okay, you're sharing this stuff, partner with other businesses, right? Get a local, get the local babysitter to partner up with you, and then they can pull some leads out of this kind of stuff too, right? It doesn't have to be just you and your business. You can go to any other business you want. You can offer them your version of these tools to put on their own website, right? You can get them to share your version of the tool on your website, because they're still going to look good because they gave this to somebody for free. But then they get there and they see your pretty face in the corner and they see your contact information on the tool. There are just so many different places to utilize this, right? But that's a big deal here, is if you have access to these kinds of tools, or if you build them yourself, which I will teach you to do, by the way. Okay, part of this is like, you'll learn to build these yourself if you want to, or you can just use the ones that I've already built. That's kind of how this works, right? But once you can do this, once you have access to these things, you can start to get in front of people that much earlier. So let's say you're in real estate. That does tend to be my specialty, although I think there's lots of businesses that could be using these. If you're in real estate, what I'd recommend, if you really need leads, if you really need a listing or a buyer here in the next couple months, use those first two tools I showed you. Talk exclusively about them in the next couple months, and you will get the leads you need, right? But if you are in a situation going, look, I'm already pretty busy, my pipeline is pretty full for this spring, this is where you should start, right? Provide this kind of thing. Send an email to your entire database offering this kind of stuff, right? I mean, I'd much rather get an email from an agent saying, hey, I got this really cool brand new tool. It's going to plan out your perfect date night with your significant other. Let me know if you want to use it, right? Like, that's a lot more interesting and a lot more engaging than, hey, here's another list of stats on the market, right? The prices went up by 0.25% over the past month or whatever, right? I want the stuff that's new, that's novel, that's interesting, that's exciting, and that's personalized to me, right? That's where I'm going to really win when it comes to folks in that situation, right? So you got to be the first in your market, though, because I do think that when I see this the first time, it will blow my mind, right? It's going to be like, what? An agent is, what are they offering? How are they even able to do this? They must be incredibly successful if they're able to offer me this kind of stuff, right? But you don't want to be the copycat. You don't want to wait until somebody else is doing it, and then you're the second or third or 10th or 20th or whatever it ends up getting to. You want to be first, right? Okay, so what is it going to do for you? If you are first, what does that look like, right? This is how you start to differentiate yourself. And again, this is where I think that early mover advantage is so powerful, okay? Left-hand side is what a lot of agents are doing today. Interest rates climbing, interest rates going down. Okay, I get it. We'll open those emails every now and then. Or do you want to be able to offer them a custom date night plan, right? Which of those things stand out? Which is more useful in that moment? Sure, it doesn't mean you never talk about interest rates ever again. It just means that people don't tune you out when you do, because you've been talking about other things as well, right? If I see your name, I think to myself, ooh, what are they sharing this time? And this time it happens to be an email about interest rates. Well, I'm actually looking at it in that case, right? If all you ever do is send me the same generic things over and over again, my brain actually trains itself to ignore your name. Keep that in mind, right? So you're going to be able to send much better emails. You're going to have much better social media posts, right? I mean, how many times, we talked about this earlier, we can't see another generic post. I mean, our brains just literally look right past them, right? So now you're going to be able to talk about things that are completely differentiating. I mean, I cannot overemphasize this, right? You've done it. Scroll, right? What is it that's triggering your mind to say, wait a second, no, I haven't seen this before. What is this? Pay attention to this, right? That's what you need. And this is going to give that in spades, because I'm going to make a new one of these tools for you at least every month. I want to try to do it every week. I can't quite promise that yet. But imagine at least every month being able to put out a series of posts about your brand new tool. You can tease it. You can build it up. Hey, I got something exciting. It's coming out in a few days. Comment on this post if you want to be the first to hear about it, right? And then when it comes out, hey, I just launched this tool. It's going to be available for free for the next month. You can gatekeep it, right? You can tell people it's going to go back in the vault. I mean, I'm going to teach you all these different strategies for using these tools, but your social media is about to get a lot more interesting, all right? Mail. I mean, I think this is maybe the biggest opportunity, okay? How many people do farming where they say the same stuff in all of their postcards, right? It's the same thing over and over and over again, right? I mean, this is the kind of thing that is going to clearly differentiate the mailers you're sending. Better text messages. I already kind of talked about this one, but this one's pretty obvious, right? Do you want to get another, hey, are you still looking to buy in 2026? Or do you want to be able to say something unique to that person, right? Which of these is going to get more responses? Now, does it mean that every single person that says, yeah, I want to use that tool is also going to buy a house the next 3 months? No, but it's going to make follow-up a lot easier. If you have 100 leads and you send them all this text message and 10 of them say, hey, yeah, I would like that tool, who are you going to focus on for the next couple weeks? Who are you going to try to follow up with again? Those 10 people, right? It's a strong signal. It's a lot of value. And don't be surprised. I mean, here's a big part of this. When more of your text messages get opened and interacted with and people respond, when more of your emails get opened and people interact with them, when more of your social media posts get more engagements and more comments, all of it performs better. Your deliverability rates go up, right? You get more people opening your stuff in the future. It's a strong signal to those platforms. So this will solve problems you don't even know you have, okay? Because you're gonna see more people opening your emails, more people actually engaging. I mean, you might go from reaching 200 people with each social media post to reaching 500 people with every social media post, just because what you're saying is more unique, all right? Last one. How do you do this without having to write any code, okay? Because these are not simple tools. I figured out how to build these over the course of the past 3 years, and it was a lot of work. I mean, I cannot tell you how many hours I've spent working with these tools to figure this out. You don't have to worry about any of that, all right? If you were to have me build this software custom for you, right? And even just build like one of these tools and the marketing systems and everything that goes with it, I mean, you're gonna spend $20,000. Like I've looked into this a bunch of times, okay? Over the years, I've always thought, man, it'd be really cool if I had this particularly custom tool, or it'd be cool if I could do this thing. You look into it, you're gonna have to hire a dev team. It's gonna take you months. You're gonna spend tens of thousands of dollars, and chances are it will not work the way you wanted it to, unfortunately, right? Like that's just the reality of building these things from scratch. So you're not gonna do that, right? We're gonna just give it to you. You're gonna have all of the tools, everything, all 4 of the tools that I've showed you today are ready to go. They are built into this platform. You can deploy them immediately, and you can even brand them immediately. So I'll show you in just a second. Well, I'll do a demo for you in a couple minutes here. But you can literally upload your logo, your headshot, your contact information, and your version of these tools will have all of that incorporated into it, right? Instantaneously. You do not have to do anything to make that happen. I'll show you. It's really kind of crazy how easy this is, okay? Like I said a second ago, I'm gonna make a new tool every month. This gives you something new to announce, to talk about. You don't have to do every one. If you see one of them, you go, it's not for me. I am gonna try to do this every week, so I can't make that an official promise, right? But I'd like, that's like kind of my challenge to myself, is I wanna make a new adaptive lead magnet every single week for you. But think about all the new content now, right? I mean, it's just, I cannot tell you, it's so different than even having a new guide every month, right? Because a new guide means, hey, here, do you want to have something you have to read for the next half an hour? Or hey, do you want to spend 2 minutes answering a couple quick questions and get a completely customized plan that's meant just for you? That's a lot more compelling, right? So every single month, maybe every single week, you're gonna have something ready to go. I'm even gonna show you in a second here. I set this platform up so I can generate the marketing materials for you. We're gonna generate your social media posts. We're gonna generate your emails. We're gonna generate text messages. We're gonna generate social media graphics. So again, if you wanna sign up, if you wanna try this, it's month to month. You can try it for 1 month, see how it goes, and cancel if you don't like it, okay? But if you wanna try it, you will get all of this as part of the program, all right? So you don't have to figure anything out. It literally will take you 5 minutes. 5 minutes after you sign up, you could be on social media having already shared your first post about your home value maximizer and be seeing people start to comment and ask for it. That is possible, okay? Like I don't overpromise anything because I'm gonna show this to you in just a second, but that's what we're talking about, okay? So here's the question. So I've been building up to this, okay? But do you wanna see it? Like I showed you examples of the adaptive lead magnets, right? So you kind of know how they work. I'll show you them even further. but do you want to see it? I mean, I don't want to waste your time, right? So if everybody's like, nah, I'm good, you know, we can wrap up here in the next couple of minutes. That's okay. No hard feelings, all right? I know this isn't going to be right for everybody. But if you want to see it, let me know, right? Because I don't want to waste your time. And I will tell you right now, if you've seen this all so far and you're like, you know what, like this isn't for me. I don't think this is going to help my business. I can't imagine my business being, you know, the company offering these AI tools. You could probably leave at this point, right? Like I've shown you the 3 secrets at this point. I don't want to waste any more of your time. But if you do want to see it, you definitely want to stick around, all right? So I'm just going to kind of give you that heads up there. Okay, so we got yes, let's see it. Yes, absolutely, of course. Okay, good. I'm happy that nobody said no. That's good, right? All right, and I will make sure if I see a couple questions in here, I will try to make sure that I answer these. Like, is the information like the ROI from the home value maximizer localized? And yes, it is. It is localized. So the information the tools provide will be localized to your area. Okay. So let's go ahead and just jump in here for a second. So I really, this is what this is all about. I can't wait to share this with you. So this is the Adaptive Lead Magnet Platform, all right? I call them ALMs, right? So you maybe we'll change that name in the future, but for now, that's what I'm calling them. And here's what you get, okay? So what I want to show you here, this is what I want to show you. I'm gonna do a quick tour, and then if you like this, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to sign up, and we're going to set it up for your business right now. Okay, so you're gonna leave with the platform set up, with your information added to it, ready to go. Okay, so here's how this works. As soon as you're logged in, right off the bat, you have the Home Value Maximizer, it's the 2.0 version, the Neighborhood Matchmaker, the Date Night Planner, and the Kids Activity Planner. All right, these links. Copy the hosted link, all right? So let's say I do that. Come up to the Home Value Maximizer, copy the hosted link, and I open this up. What is that going to be? That is your Home Value Maximizer. You already have it. It's ready to go, right? They can come in here, they can click on the Start Analysis, they can add their photos. I'll do that really quickly here, right? They put them in, boom, there's the photos. They can continue, then I put in what city I'm in. All right, I fill all this information, and you already kind of saw this preview, so I'm not necessarily showing you. This is a slightly updated version of the tool, like I said before, but there it is, like immediately. So you could go to Facebook and say, hey, are you thinking about selling your house? I got a tool that's going to help you plan exactly what you should fix and not fix before you sell it. Do you want to try it? And then they say yes, you give them that link. Ready to go. I'll come back to that when the results are generated. It usually takes about a minute or so to generate the results, all right? So you've got the Home Value Maximizer, you've got the Neighborhood Matchmaker. Now, you might look at that and say, yeah, but where's my branding, right? You said I could have my branding on it. Well, this is one of my favorite parts of this platform. All right, we can come into platform settings, and I can just enter my website. Okay, I'm gonna put my actual website in here and click enter. It's gonna analyze the website, and then watch what it does with the branding and profile information down here. It fills it in automatically. Now, Vanessa and my name are both on that website, so I'm gonna tweak the name. Obviously, I'm not Vanessa, I'm Nick, right? But the rest of this is filled in, at least as far as it could learn from the website. So that saves me those steps, right? Then I can fill in the rest. So I want my location is St. Louis. You probably want to describe your ideal client a little bit. What do we know about them? Let's put a contact information, phone number in here. And then we can choose a color. So whatever your brand color is, right? I'll show you what happens when I change this. And you can just pick a color you like if you want, or you can actually use like a brand color, right? So I'll select a color there. And then we can upload our logo and we can upload our headshot. So I'm going to do that real quick too, so you can see exactly what this looks like once we do it. Go back to the right folders here. It's going to take me just a second. All right, so grab, why it's not letting me do the search anymore. Let me see if I can just sort of find one and throw it. Well, sorry. Sometimes when I'm doing a Zoom screen share, it interferes with my my search function inside of the back end here. So let me see if it's still doing that to me. Okay, so I may have to scroll through and find a logo manually, but this will take just a quick second here. There it is. Okay, so that's my logo, so let's put that in there. And then my headshot, let me see if I can find that one as well. Pull that up. There we go. So we'll throw the headshot in there. and then we save it, right? So again, 2 minutes maybe, right? It's going to fill in half of it for you automatically. We fill in the rest. So what does that do to the lead magnets? Well, again, now if I copy the hosted link and I open it up, there we go, right? Now I've got my name, I've got my headshot in there, got my logo up here in the top left-hand corner. The color of the tool has changed to match the color I selected, right? So it can match your brand colors. I've got my email and phone number buttons in here. So if someone wants to contact me, they just click either one of those and it'll automatically open up and start an email or a phone call with me, right? That's it. That's all. I mean, so this is done. Now, what else? What else can we get in the platform here, right? There's a couple other things I'm really excited about. The next one is, well, what if I want to capture contact information, right? Because this is just the tool itself. Well, I can come into these and I can click on personalized tool and I can add this is called an iframe, okay? So this is, let me just show this real quick, all right? I'm gonna delete this one. This is high level. So I don't know if any of you use high level as your CRM, but all CRMs usually have this kind of feature available in them, okay? This is a form, and all I have to do is click integrate on this form, copy the embed code from my CRM, all right? Come back here into the back end of my tool, paste this in, and save it. And here's what happens. Now this button appears. It's called the lead capture page, okay? So let me show you what this looks like. We open this up, and here we go, right? It's got our logo on it, it's got our name. If we scroll down, and we're gonna improve these, like this is kind of a beta version. This is a beta version of the entire platform, by the way, right? But this will get more kind of sexy as we work on it. But here it is. There's our form, right? So if somebody wants, so now you can share this. You can share this landing page and say, hey, if you want to use my home value maximizer, come to this landing page. They learn about it. They come down to your form. They fill in your form and they click the button, and now you have a lead. And that lead is directly in your CRM already, right? Again, like all of us you can do in 5 minutes. It is crazy. I cannot believe that I've been able to build this. I'm very excited about it, obviously, right? So you've got that. You got the lead capture page. Now, what if you want to put the tool on your own website? So you want to say, okay, I like this, it's all cool, but I want to just put it on my website. I'll set it all up. I want to do all the kind of the front end and back end. You click this, copy embed code. Now it's copied and you paste it on your site. All right, it's that simple. So there's a few other things. Let me show you one last part of this, all right? Because I want to give you a chance to get signed up, because what I will do at the end here is we're going to go back through this and you're going to set it up. So if you decide, yeah, I want to do this, I want to give it a try, get me registered, let's go. We'll go back through this, okay? So you're going to actually be able to do this right now and even go to social media and put up your first post, right? The last thing I'll show you here is kind of a quick demo. Is if I want to take one of these tools like the neighborhood matchmaker and I want a social media graphic, I can come in here, I can select graphic, I can decide if I wanted to incorporate my name, my business name, local imagery, like so it's gonna be St. Louis imagery, right? I can select from the style that I want. So let's say I want like a cool anime post, and then I click this button and it's gonna generate me a completely custom graphic. All right, same thing goes for these other buttons, and I won't do all of them right now because I don't waste any more time, but social media posts, like the actual copy, what you would write on social media, the emails, if you want to send emails to promote these, and even text messages. It is all built in, right? So usually the thing that's going to take the longest is generating one of the social graphics. So I'll let this finish, and then I'll kind of get back to the overview and how do you get signed up and answer your questions and all that kind of stuff. But what's really cool, well, all this I think is really cool, but what's really nice about this is you can also save the graphics. You can save everything you generate and come back and reuse it, right? So you can use it over and over again. Another thing that we will do over time is we will make graphics. So we'll make some that are sort of more, I don't want to say generic, but that would work in any market, right? We'll make some video clips and we'll put those in your account as well. And all of that will be available for your use at any time, right? So there we go. So here's my little anime version of the neighborhood matchmaker that was just generated in about a minute, right? So if I want to save this to my device or to my account, I can click there, so it'll save a copy of it. I can request changes if I want to make something different, and then I can download it as well, right? So I go ahead and copy that. So what I would suggest you do, I'll show you how in just a second, but I would suggest you get signed up, you come in here, you go through the setup, you get all the information loaded to the back end, you generate a graphic, and you go post about it right now, right? I mean, there are people here right now that by the end of the day will have new leads, which is crazy, right? Like, and who knows, right? I mean, we'll see what happens, but that is 100% possible because that's how simple this is, right? This has everything you need in it to start immediately going out and marketing your adaptive lead magnets, be the first business in your market to be able to offer this stuff, right? All right, so before we go any further, I want to come back to my slides here for just a second, okay? What I want you to think about, I've already kind of said this, right? So this is the next question, okay? And I do want to ask you this, and I do want you to respond in the chat if you don't mind, right? If I could give these to you today, would you use them? Right? Because here's the thing. The other side of what I do is I teach people how to build these themselves, okay? The entire process. So how to use AI to write the code, to build these tools, post them, put them on your website, make all your marketing materials, write all your emails. I will teach all of that to you. But I have thought for a while now, if I could just give the tools to you and you could start using them immediately, that's the best of both worlds then, right? Because whenever you decide you have the time, you can come learn and I will teach it to you. And we do that. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. But if I can give you the tools to use immediately today to start marketing your business, then you will get the benefits immediately, right? So instead of having to worry about having to learn all this stuff, I got to come take these classes, I got to watch this thing, right? Instead, you just get all the benefits. Okay, that's the idea here. Okay, so if you would use them, let me know. Because if you wouldn't, if you're like, well, I mean, I don't think I have 5 minutes to sit there and set up the tools. Like I don't, I would sign up and I just would never use it. I should know that too, right? Like I want to know if that's the case. If I'm missing the mark here, that's obviously going to be very helpful. Okay, so I'm hoping you will say that. Let me make sure I'm checking the chat for responses, right? So yes, would use, of course, yes. The last thing I want to do is learn to code. Yeah, of course, right? But it's surprisingly easy, I will tell you that. But yeah, I get that, right? If we don't have an active website, can we still utilize this? Absolutely. Everything I've showed you so far is independent from your website. So all of that, the landing page, the actual tool itself, all the graphics, that's all through this platform. So yes, you can take it and embed it on a website, but if you don't have a website, you can still do all of it. If you have a CRM but don't have a website, you can still use my landing page, embed your form from your CRM, and get the leads that way. Okay, so it really is adaptable to pretty much any scenario. Okay, so that's a good question. I'll come back to any other questions that I may have missed here in just a second. So we are past the hour. I apologize for that. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make sure that by the time I got to this point in the conversation, that we weren't at the hour mark. So that's a little bit of a mistake on my part. What I want to do right now is I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, okay? Because if you're looking at this, you're going, man, I like this a lot. I'd really like to sign up. I'd really like to use this, but I got to get going. I want to make sure you have the opportunity to do so, okay? So we're going to go ahead and put this in the chat right now. What the deal is, and I'm going to come back to this and kind of talk about it a little bit more. The Adaptive Marketer Program is $197 a month. Okay, so if you decide you want to sign up and be a part of the Adaptive Marketer Program, it's $197 a month. You get the entire platform I just showed you as a free bonus for signing up now. That's the deal. All right, so I know there's other bonuses listed. I am going to come back to this. I am going to talk through what all is included here in just a second. But if you got to run, if you have an appointment to get to, or you can't stick around for any longer and you want to take advantage of this, you have to sign up in the next 30 minutes, okay? Because I am going to stick around. I'm going to talk it through a little bit more. But if you don't sign up in the next 30 minutes, you do not get access to the platform. That may change in the long run. We may decide to sell it separately. There may be other ways to get access to it. But as of now, if you do want to use the Adaptive Lead Magnet platform, you do have to sign up for the membership right now. Okay, you got to do it while you're here. So I'm going to go back. I just skipped ahead. Okay, so I know for some of you, you're kind of waiting for this, right? Like, oh, I need to know what the deal is because I got to get going, and if I want to take advantage of it, I want to know what it is right away. That's what it is. Okay, so I'm going to go back over everything.
Yep. I have a question.
And yeah, go ahead.
See, so if you sign up for the platform and you said there's additional things you're going to get, do you need to, as once you stop the once you don't do the other things, do you lose access to the platform, or is the 197 you get the platform for life?
No, so I'll go back. So Sheila, let me just kind of go through the offer because I think that'll help you understand what's included here. All right. But the short answer to that is you're gonna learn to build these yourself, right? So let me kind of go over this. All right. If you let me see where I was. Sorry, that was the other thing I need to get back to. Okay. Here's what this comes down to. Okay. The platform is a free bonus. So you get that included for as long as you are a member in the program. Now, will I allow you to pay for it and kind of separate it from the platform? That may be possible down the road, but not for now. Okay? Here's the reason. I need the first 100 to 200 people who use this platform to kill it, right? Like I need them to get tremendous results because I need this to, like I want this to be a hit, right? Like I know this works. I've been testing it for 3 years now. I'm familiar with all this, that's great. But I need you to do really well. So what I will not do for anybody in the first couple hundred members here is I cannot separate the platform from the training, okay? Because I need to make sure you do really well. Now, that being said, in the long run, maybe that'll be possible, right? Maybe that will be an option. Now, here's what's going to happen. Let me go through this, right? Because the way this program started, and I'm kind of skipping around. I apologize, right? Because I got a little bit behind on my schedule here. But the way this program started is I was teaching these things. Okay. So let me pull this up. This is everything that's a part of this program, right? So up until a few weeks ago, we started the adaptive marketer program a few months ago, kind of in beta stage. And everybody who's been in that program or who has come to the boot camps has learned to do this stuff directly, right? Learned how to use ChatGPT to generate the images, learned how to use Claude to write the code, copy the code to Hugging Face to host it, right? There's all these layers to it. And the beauty of that is that once you know how to do these things, right? Like once you can make one of these tools yourself from scratch, and I apologize, I'm kind of skipping around because I want to get to here, this is what I want to show, okay? Once you know how to do it, you can do it forever. Like I do really think it's important for you to learn how to, it's called vibe coding, right? Which is to use these tools to write the code. You don't write the code, you don't even have to see the code, right? We did this yesterday, by the way, so this is pre-recorded. So if you want to know how to build one of these tools from scratch yourself, it is ready to go, okay? That is in there from day one. But I want you to get the results immediately. So that's how this works, okay? So the way this program works is you get the software and you get all the training. And if at some point you're like, look, I don't want to ever learn how to do this, you pay 197 bucks a month, you can use the software as long as you want, okay? Now, will I eventually make a version of this where you can pay for it separately? I don't know, right? Because I really want to make sure everybody that's using it is absolutely dominating their market with it, okay? So I can't promise that down the road. Maybe it will be a possibility, maybe it won't. But if at any point you're like, I don't want to pay us money anymore, you just take the 2-hour boot camp on how to build them yourself, and you can build any that you can imagine for the rest of your life yourself, okay? So I do think that's really useful. I think that's really important as well. So what you get in the Adaptive Marketer program, this has been always true, you get the live boot camps. We do these two times per month. You get recordings of them as well. I'll go over some of the ones we've already recorded. I'll go over some of the ones we're going to be doing in the coming months and the ones you'll get included in your membership. We give you one new lead magnet per month, all right? So that traditionally has been a static lead magnet. Now it's going to be an adaptive lead magnet moving forward. We do Q&A and feedback sessions every month, right? So that's the learning side of this. So if you want to learn how to do more with AI, to do more of your marketing with AI, to be able to build your own tools with AI, to be able to make your own marketing materials with AI, all of that is available. But I know that it can be frustrating to have to learn a bunch of stuff before you get the results. So that's why I built the platform, right? So we're getting the best of both worlds, right? So you can learn it, you can implement it, you can do it yourself, you can save yourself money, all across the board. I'll tell you right now, you want to build a new website, you can vibe code it. You want to build your own CRM, you can do that. That's pretty ambitious. I'm doing that on the back end of myself right now. But you can build your own CRM, right? You can make anything you can imagine once you know how to do it. But in the short term, you can sign up right now, get immediate access to all of the AI lead magnets I just showed you, and start marketing them and start getting business immediately, right? So that's what we're talking about. So let me go through a couple of these things. I know we had questions on it. Number one, I have an entire 2-hour boot camp where I showed you how to build your own adaptive lead magnet from scratch. If you want to be able to make any of these, if you have other ideas, if there's something you're looking at and going, the home value maximizer is not quite it for me, I want to do something different, you can do so. It takes 2 hours to learn how to do it. It takes about 15 minutes to build one from scratch. That might sound crazy, right? 15 minutes. But I did it yesterday and it took me less than 15 minutes, okay? So if you do want to get there, this is available on demand from the time you sign up, okay? So as soon as you want, if you want to sign up now and learn to make your own adaptive lead magnets and make something from scratch, it's there. You can go do it, right? If you want to sign up and just use the ones I already have, that's there for you too. I'm trying to make this as easy as possible, right? We've got another one we did recently on designing Instagram carousel posts with AI. Now, why carousel posts? They happen to work really well, right? They're great for call to action. They get higher engagement rates than almost any other kind of content on Instagram. So if you're into marketing on Instagram, that is ready to go, right? You can hop in, you can make your own Instagram carousel posts, and you learn to do it, right? Once you know how to do it, you can do it for the rest of your career. We've got a local lead magnets one, right? So if you want to make static lead magnets, we've got that covered too. Now, I think we're moving past static lead magnets. I think the adaptive lead magnets are going to be way more useful in your business. But if you want to be able to do both, you'll be able to do both, right? Creating videos with Sora. Now, this is a good one, right? If you want to be able to make custom videos with AI that you can then use to market your business, that is a boot camp we've done as well, right? So you can go in, you can make this stuff. It can be completely customized for you and your business and your location and the kinds of people you want to attract. And now you've got videos you can post on social media to get people to ask for your adaptive lead magnets, right? We've got creating your monthly or weekly newsletter. This is another big one, right? Because I'll tell you what, if you start getting a bunch of fresh leads, you're going to want to make sure you're saying something to those people. So this is an entire 2-hour training that's going to show you how to make a process that you can rinse and repeat. In fact, you can even schedule it so it does it automatically. But basically, it's going to write your entire newsletter for you every month or even every week, right? So you get all the content. It's written by AI. You put it in your email. I would be honest with people that it was AI written or assisted. That's up to you though, right? And then you send it. And so what that's doing for you, again, this is an ecosystem, okay? So yes, I want to give you the tools. I want to give you everything you need, but you got to stay in touch with people, right? So if you're getting hundreds of new people into your email database every month by using these adaptive lead magnets, let's say something to them. Now, you can just share your new adaptive lead magnets as they come out, but this gives you another way to talk to them, right? So again, newsletters are very popular right now. That's a good one. So 3 that are coming up. Again, these are all optional, right? You don't have to do any of these classes, but I do highly recommend that you're doing both, right? You're learning, but you're also using the implementation I'm giving you out of the box. Building a lead magnet email nurture sequence that converts. What does that mean? Well, that means that once you get a new lead, once somebody signs up for your home value maximizer, for example, what are the emails that they're going to get afterwards, right? How are you going to stay in touch with them? How are you going to continue to nurture that lead so you can convert it? This is how you're going to do it, right? We're going to go over that on February 10th. Next, on February 25th, we have create a checklist lead magnet with AI, right? So again, sort of basic types of lead magnets that are good just as a sort of supplemental aspect. And then the last one is create and schedule 4 social posts that promote one of your lead magnets, right? So we're going to go through, we're going to use Claude or ChatGPT or one of our favorite AI tools, and we're going to make the social media posts that we're then going to schedule to promote your lead magnet, right? So again, best of both worlds here. And the way I want you to think about this is not that you have to take any of those trainings, okay? The way to think about it is you sign up. In the few minutes here, I'm going to go back over some of that tutorial stuff so that you can follow along with me and start setting up the tool for your own business, right? So you can start using it. And then what I want you to think about is whenever you are ready, you come in and take the trainings that allow you to take things to the next step, okay? You don't ever have to. So if you just want to sign up and use the tool forever, and that's fine, right? That is an option. But if you want to sign up and then also have that option to learn to do these things yourself, learn to replace the software, not just the software that I'm giving to you as part of this, but other parts of software, right? Other tools you're using in your business. Like I have started to cancel some of my subscriptions and save a lot of money because I've learned to build my own tools, right? That can be in your future. It doesn't have to be in the immediate future. So back to those questions about, hey, how do I sort of balance those two? That's how I would think about it. All right. So here's what I want you to do. I am going to answer questions. I'm going to address any concerns, anything like that. So if you haven't yet, make sure you click the link and get yourself signed up, because this is how you get access to the platform. Okay. If you don't sign up while you're here, you can come back tomorrow and sign up. You will get all the training, everything we talked about, $197 a month. You'll get everything that's in there. You will not get the lead generation platform, okay? And again, that's how it works today, okay? So if you want to get access to it, if you want to use it, if you want it included for free,